The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level. And sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
Haven't met a corner that's worth his salt yet that ever admits to worrying about man coverage. How about the play there, breaking that pass up?
The kick by Crosby is good, and the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their second drive here of the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Goff. And this one is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
On 3rd down, here comes Swift. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. The Lions at 6-1 now through 7 weeks of the season. And they come in riding high, just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
And I like the way that this team is winning football games because they're doing it the way that coaches love to preach. Penalties at a minimum because they've been very disciplined.
He's got a man, complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Goff now to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. DeAndre Swift hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Lions have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. Now, this defense for the Lions, they played really well in that win last week against Miami.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. 36 yards on the play. Aaron Jones, not one of the bigger backs in the league, 5'9", 208, but he's definitely what you'd call a downhill runner, and he's able to shed the tacklers there for good yardage.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for, because all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him, or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. 51 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown. Christian Watson from 8 yards out. And the Packers have regained the lead. Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. Khalif Raymond now. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they are trying to create some separation within the division. And look, CD, I know that this is still the first half of the season, but this is a big matchup no matter where it falls, because these are the top 2 teams right now in that division.
And if you can build a bit of a cushion as you head towards the second part of the season, that allows you to survive the expected injuries, potential upset losses, all of those things, and still be in good shape.
He's airing it out for Williams. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Goff now looking to throw. Buying time to his left. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That gain on third down, good for 28.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on third down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a
touchdown, Detroit. DeAndre Swift, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year, as his guys have now moved out in front. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Off the option, it's Jones. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their third drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Rodgers to return it. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And, you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number 1 goal? Make the playoffs. Number 2, win your division. Number 3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number 1 seed so you get that first round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
On second down, Swift. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing on third, Goff. And Shark calls it in. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Give them 35 yards there on the third down conversion. Well, one thing's for sure. They're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good pitcher treats pitching a game. Change your timing, change your location. So sometimes you're up on him, sometimes you're back. Just change up the looks that he sees and make him just a little bit more hesitant.
On 2nd and 11 now. Goff. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And in for the Lions, touchdown. DJ Chark from 19 yards away as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
To throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Rodgers. A throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Rodgers going to go on 4th down. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he is going to have a Packers 1st down. No problem there. They get the first by plenty on 4th and inches. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On play action, now Rodgers. Out to his left. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position. And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands. Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. He's airing it out for Williams. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. Taken down on the play by Aiden Hutchinson. 2nd and 7. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll get about 3 here up to the 44-yard line.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Rodgers now to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he will bring it back. An interception return for the Lions. Touchdown. Badgley on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Nixon now from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another first down, this time on a gain of 19. Now Rodgers. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 38-yard line. Here's Rodgers to throw. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. And he'll be brought down at the 27. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. This one swung out here to Jones. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Throw right side, this is into the hands of the tight end, Tunyon. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Touchdown! Christian Watson. As the first half is winding down. And the Packers are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Crosby with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down to 18. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And Rodgers intercepted a third time. Picked off by Isaiah Rodgers. And he will be out of bounds with no time remaining on what will be the final action of this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Packers set to get the football first, and they are trailing on the scoreboard as we resume action, ready for the third quarter. Nixon now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Nixon now from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Aiden Hutchinson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Rodgers. This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 51 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field. Rodgers' throw here pulled in by Lazard. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down at will.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Jones going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
On 2nd and goal, Rodgers. And he wisely will throw that one away. Third and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. Here's Jones. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Aaron Jones with career touchdown number 60. And the Packers are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that'll cut the lead down to 18. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Here's Raymond bringing it out.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Once again, it's Swift. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
He's got exactly what you're looking for. The ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he is going to have a Lions first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
He's airing it out for Williams. It got his man complete. Touchdown, Detroit. When you think of guys that are built to be big-arm quarterbacks, Jared Goff, he fits that mold, and he showed it off right there.
And I'm telling you, nothing will light up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, all eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and you know everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
And the final number on that throw, boy, it traveled an even 69 yards. Nixon now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Give them 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. And my goodness, another interception. Picked by Jeff Okudah. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Goff, a handoff here to Swift. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Goff. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Hold on.
On the option to give to Swift here. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Here's Michael Badgley ready for the field goal try. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. Badgley able to punch this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they got the turnover started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. The goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Working with a 2nd and 3. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Completes it again to Dobbs. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. He sets to fire deep. And now here is another interception. And the Lions are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in...
There he goes, left side. He's at the 50. The 30. He's been having a great game, and that one right there, his best run so far, and it ends with 6 points.
And not only that, in his mind, what is he thinking? Can I get to 200 yards as well? Because he knows he's closing in on it. He may not know the exact number, but the best runners have a feel of what the yardage is that they're compiling, and he knows that he's getting close to that 200-yard mark now.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nixon now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard